Wait! I would have gotten to 2 slams. Well, this was a mistake. Never mind. That was a freaking fantastic play. I know, the title is kinda cringe. Best team in Psychic Cup. You must be thinking that's just sensationalism to get some extra clicks. And well, you're not wrong. It's good clickbait, right? I mean, you're here, so it must have worked. But I also stand by it. This team is one of the best, if not the best team you can run in the Psychic Cup right now. I ran it during my live stream yesterday, right when Psychic Cup was launched, and I went 12-1 with the squad. My one loss also being completely winnable. Besides that, I saw a couple folks in the YouTube comments and in my Discord saying they did amazing with the team. Someone even got a 10-0 streak. So yes, extremely solid team and one I can definitely recommend. The team is a strategy I highlighted during my Psychic Cup guide video I uploaded yesterday, so for more strategies, go check that out. Today I'm running Victini, Galarian, Rapidash, and Malamar. This team just really works by overpowering your opponent with charge moves. All 3 of these Pokemon are quite spammy and have hard-hitting moves, which I found to be extremely effective in this meta. Victini with the spammy V-Create just does so much damage. Even versus Deoxys defense, the V-Create does like 40%, which is quite crazy. The absolute star of the show in this team is Galarian Rapidash, though. This thing is so incredibly spammy, and the damage it can do is so deceptive. Look at this body slam, does quite a bit. My opponent's gonna attempt to farm down, but I get to the Mega Horn. My opponent thinks I'm just at a body slam, so they let it go, and I take out a counter, which is just wild. Galarian Rapidash was definitely the MVP of this team. Look, I'm even gonna be able to get to another body slam versus the Deoxys, which is just wild. Yeah, you get to those body slams in 4 fairy wins. That's 8 turns. It's incredibly fast. Malamar, very good psychic answer. I wouldn't say it's that good versus Deoxys though, because it is doing neutral with counters and thunderbolts. But any psychic move does triple resisted, so you eat them up, and in general you can hit everything for very hard damage with foul plays. I wanted to save the foul play there though, because the Deoxys was so low. I can farm it down later, and then comes a Bronzong now, and I think my opponent's running the wrong fast move there. You definitely want to be running Feint Attack on Bronzong, so that doesn't help him out, but the game was over anyway, so we finish it off with another V-Create, then we quick attack down the Deoxys, and that's a good first game. Alright, so let's talk about Victini Moveset. I'm running Psychic, which might seem very weird in a meta where everything resists Psychic, but I thought it was gonna be good as a bait. You see, V-Create lowers your defense quite severely, which can be quite detrimental. So I thought if I have Psychic, I can use it as a bait, not drop my defense, and that might help me reach some clutch V-Creates in the end. However, it really didn't see too much use. So honestly, I would highly recommend you go Overheat instead. Overheat is a little more expensive than V-Create, but does a ton more damage, and it drops your attack instead of your defense, which could come in like useful as well. Well, that might be better than dropping your defense in some scenarios. But mainly it's just an even harder hitting nuke, which honestly I don't think really came in handy much in my battles either, if I would have had it, but it would have definitely been more useful than Psychic, probably. I think if you're using Victini as a pivot though, you probably want Psychic, because then getting a bait off with a Psychic could be quite useful. As a lead or in the back, I think Overheat probably the way. Anyway, Victini farms down this Bronzong, and we get it into a Malamar here. I go for... This is such a risky play. Malamar can actually win CMP versus Victini. It can actually win CMP versus Victini. You do not want to throw on CMP like I just did, or tried. I don't think they even throw it though, but I threw at 5. That would have been CMP if they throw the move. Yeah, luckily they didn't, because they could have maybe won the CMP tie there. So if you're up against Victini versus Malamar, do not attempt to CMP. Just throw 1 before. That's much safer. Anyway, we had a pretty good lead there with my Victini into Gardevoir. I switched into Malamar and go into my Galarian Rapidash. This is pretty good. Though, if they Hyper Beam, I'm dead. So I'm shielding that up. That was a great shield. Body Slam does like 33%. We're still in the first battles here, so I wasn't too sure. I can throw like 5 more Fairy Winds here, do win CMP here. And actually gonna end up going for the Mega Horn, but I think Body Slam would have knocked out here. This point, I just really wasn't aware of damage ranges, so I went for a safe play. But in hindsight, just Body Slam would have knocked out, so I definitely should have thrown that. Still fine though, I get to Body Slam versus this Victini, and if they attempt to farm down, I get to another one. Rapidash is just stupid. It is so good. It is so freaking good. We get the shield there. I bring in my Malamar. I should be able to take 1 V-Create of this thing. I didn't throw my move expecting them to catch, but they didn't catch. And now I really wish I threw. And now I'm going to throw anyway, but they caught. But you know what? This is fine, actually, because now I can go into my Victini, farm down this Gardevoir, and hit the Victini with V-Creates, and I know it's over. GG's. Alright, Claydol Lead. This is quite bad. I go into my Galarian Rapidash. You always want to save switch Galarian Rapidash, okay? Always. Malamar's just not a good save switch, because if they have like a Gardevoir in the back, you're just gonna die. Go for the Mega Horn versus Slowking. There's quite a bit of damage. Get to another Body Slam here. This will definitely hurt. Slowking definitely generally beats Galarian Rapidash, but as you can see, you can get quite a lot of shields here. I'm gonna shoot up this move. I thought at this point that it's 5 hexes and then 4 hexes to a Shadow Ball, so I've thrown alignment here, but I could have thrown 1 more Fairy Wind, since it's actually 5 and then 5 hexes for a Shadow Ball, and then the third Shadow Ball is 4 hexes. Could have played it a little better there with 1 more Fairy Wind, but that's fine. Here comes a Metagross. Actually, if I threw 1 more Fairy Wind, maybe I would have reached Mega Horn. Nah, I think I was 2 away actually, so probably not. Metagross with this energy is kind of scary, especially if I try to catch, which I was expecting. Luckily, I was expecting that, so I didn't throw. Good attempt by my opponent though. Bringing my Malamar now, which is a good answer for Claydol. They're gonna let it go. I'm just gonna no-shield this move. Honestly, at this point, I want them to either take me out or bring me extremely low. I don't want this Metagross to get more farm. I maybe could have taken 1 more Mud Slap even, but I wasn't too sure. I definitely didn't want to die right there. So I do give him 2 Bullet Punches, which is not ideal, but it is like the least I could have given them. So that's all good. I'm going to shield up this move. I don't think they're going to reach an Earthquake in time, so I go for double V-Create here. If they have they might have a Meteor Mash stored and they would win CMP, so that would do a lot of damage if they throw it, but I don't think they had it. They didn't throw it, so I'll go for another V-Create. And this definitely knocks out a couple Metagross. GG's. Alright, Galarian, Slowking in the lead. This is where I think Psychic does come in handy, because like this is just a good bait. And after this, I should be able to get the 2 V-Creates if they shield it. But they actually no-shield it, so you know what? Never mind. Just going V-Create there would have been better in this case. But let's say they did shield. That would have been better for me. But you know what? It's still really good because I farm them down right before they get to the next Shadow Ball. And now I have 2 V-Creates to throw at whatever comes in. It is their Victini, which is not ideal, since a V-Create doesn't really do that much when it's resisted. Even versus a not that bulky Pokemon like Victini, actually. I don't really want to stay in just in case it's Gardevoir, so I actually switch to Malamar, which is kind of a weird switch. I know I said that you should never switch into your Malamar, but in this scenario, that's what I wanted to do, since Malamar can take the moves easier than Rapidash. Now, I just want to take out their Gardevoir with Victini. I should have taken another Charm here, actually. I could have taken another Charm. I should have let that Charm damage register before throwing the V-Create, because then I give less farm to the Victini. Alright, so, okay, this is a funny moment. This, again, one of my first games, I hadn't seen a V-Create hit Rapidash yet. So I thought it might kill, because Rapidash is extremely squishy, okay? I actually thought a V-Create here might knock out. So I end up shooting this, and it's a Psychic, okay? And my defense drops. A V-Create actually only does 70% on Rapidash, I figured out after this battle. But because my defense is dropped, I die. Psychic, okay, was their win con. Me shooting that move and them getting that drop was their win con. If I just no-shielded the first move, even if it was a V-Create, I would have lived and won the game. So, misplay by me there. But, you know, well played by my opponent there. Going for literally the only win con there and getting it. You know, we were talking about the downsides of Psychic earlier. Well, that was definitely a game where they would not have won without Psychic. So, very, very nice. Well, actually, if they had Overheat, they might have been able to V-create Bait and then Overheat. Because the Overheat might have knocked me out. Not sure, but Psychic definitely helped them out there too, though. Alright, anyway. Another Victini mirror here. We're just gonna farm all the way down. Double shield. This is usually the best strat to go with. Just give shields to Victini, farm down, get a ton of energy, and nothing really wants to take a big V to the face. What do they come in with? Probably the Raichu again. They'd thrown 4 Volt Switches and they need 5 for 2 Thunder Punches, so I throw right before they can get there now. And now it's a Malamar in the back. Again, I'm gonna CMP tie with them, but this is such a misplay, since they can actually win CMP if they have high enough attack. This is why you might want to consider running a higher attack Malamar to win CMPs against the Victinis and opposing Malamar. I'm not too aware of all the break and bulk points though. I know Ryan Swag made a PvP IV deep dive on Malamar, so if you want to know everything about Malamar IVs, I highly recommend you check out his video. I'll put it down in the description below. I'm just running a very high stat product though. I'm not sure about the exact rank right now, but I think it's like rank 30-ish, and it works fine. I haven't really, losing the CMPs hasn't really bothered me so far, and I think I had a win where I won at like 1 HP, and that's where the extra stats really help me though. My Victini, I'm very lucky with my Victini. It's extremely good rank. And that also means I lose every single CMP versus opposing Victini, which is amazing. That is really... Actually, losing CMP with Victini versus Victini is absolutely awesome in this meta. Since, as you saw there, they threw a V-Create before I could. Then I CMP tied with them on the second, which meant they threw 2 V-Creates before I threw 1, which might seem bad, but no. Their defense was so low, they had to shield that. Otherwise, 1 V-Create would just one-shot them. We got rid of the Malamar with the G-Dash. Go for the Mega Horn versus Bronzong. This does a ton if they don't shield, but they do shield. I'm so spammy though. I'm gonna go for another one. Always want to over farm because, you know, especially early on, people just don't know these counts. And they might miscount and allow me to get to another Mega Horn. And they do. Actually, we CMP tie here. They might have not even been at the Heavy Slam or Payback yet. Get rid of the Bronzong. And now the Victini. Just over. I'm gonna try to go for another Mega Horn here because I know that Body Slam doesn't knock out. But really, I should just gone for the Body Slam maybe. Actually, no, it doesn't really matter because even with the Body Slam, 1 foul play would have knocked out. I don't go for... This is stupid. I was hoping to catch a move, so I didn't throw my foul play. But I also didn't switch. I was gonna switch after almost like I got hoping to catch, but it didn't happen. So okay, Claydol. Again, bad, but going to G-Dash. They bring in Gardevoir, probably the hardest answer to G-Dash, but with this little bit of energy lead, I'm going to be able to get to 2 Body Slams. You could also consider going straight Mega Horn there, but actually you shouldn't. You can consider it, but I don't recommend it, because if they shield, you don't even get any chip on Gardevoir, so like this is fine. You bring it into the red, you bring in Victini, and now you just farm all the way down. This is why I don't think fast move pressure teams are gonna work. Look at this. I'm just completely overpowering them with charge moves. I'm going to be able to fire another V-Create off here, and this is going to knock out the Claydol if they know shield. So they've got to shield, and now I have a Malamar in the back with 2 shields. Alright, 1 after the Claydol throws. But I've now gotten rid of the Gardevoir. There's literally nothing in this game that beats Malamar when I have a shield, okay? Especially since I'm running Hyper Beam. This is kind of why you want to run Hyper Beam. Well, first off, Super Power is pretty useless. There's literally nothing in his meta. Almost nothing in his meta that takes neutral from Super Power that doesn't already take neutral from Foul Play or Hyper Beam. So, Hyper Beam is the way to go because you can one-shot Galarian Rapidash is like that. And then, you know, still have the Foul Play for the Claydol. GG's. Alright, Victini Mirror. Again, mine loses CMP, so that's really good. I just wait for them to throw, and I'm gonna throw when I have double. Get a throw here. I'm gonna no-shield the first one, Then I'm gonna throw here. It's extremely likely they also throw, which they do. I lose the CMP. Their defense is gonna be fully dropped, and they're forced to shield my Victini now, because it will definitely one-shot them. Even with just a single drop, it would have probably warranted a shield, but now it does as well. They bring in Caress now, which is kind of awkward for me, because Victini really is my best answer there. Like both Malamar and Rapidash take a lot of damage from their charge moves, so not ideal. But I throw 2 Vs, and now I'm gonna switch into Rapidash. I switch to Rapidash because Rapidash gets or can take a move easier than Malamar. Malamar, you know, has to take Moonblast, super effective, not great. And Rapidash is quite squishy too, so this is gonna do quite a bit. But at least I was able to get to the move. Again, my opponent over-farmed a ton there. He didn't have to use a shield on a body slam there if he just threw it earlier. But he probably just didn't know how spammy Rapidash was. So caused him to misplay, took a shield, just sacked the Rapidash there. Now I'm gonna bring in Malamar hoping to farm down the Cress. But they switch out, bring in Victini. Just gonna be able to foul play this teeny out of here. And then what comes in? Like, I have a Malamar with a shield. If it's, the only problem would be like Gardevoir with Charm probably, or Galite with Charm, but looks like they forgot to TM their Galite. I think even if their Galite are Charm though, I'm pretty sure I get to the Hyper Beam versus normal Galite. Just because it's non-stab and it's not Shadow, so I think that should be possible. Right, another Victini mirror here. Gonna play it out exactly the same way. If yours wins CMB, you probably just want to double up and do it twice as well. Actually, yo, this is sick. Overheat Victini. In the mirror, I guess, is pretty good in the lead, because they didn't drop their defense, which now they don't have to use a shield. Actually, they're gonna have to use this shield, I guess. They let it go as well, which is wild. And then they bring in, I'm pretty sure G-Dash comes in. Yeah, they bring in G-Dash. I bring in mine too, because I don't want my Malamar aligned. Well, I do want my Malamar aligned. I don't want my Malamar aligned to it, which should be a reason to stay in, but I don't want them to get farmed. That's why I switch it in instantly. I really don't want them to get farmed. I don't expect this to be a Mega Horn, so no shield. Good call. We are even because I threw my Body Slam first, even though I switched in later because I threw my Body Slam first. Whilst we were misaligned, we're now actually aligned. But I lose CMP, which is very, very rough. At this point, I kind of want to try to catch a move, maybe. Kind of expecting a mirror team too. They actually try to catch my move, which is wild, actually. That kind of wins me the game, honestly. I'm going to throw the Body Slam. They take a shield. Then throw off the Mega Horn. This will knock out an entire generation of Malamars. Bye-bye. In comes G-Dash again. I should be able to get to a Body Slam, but I wasn't sure if there were 2. I think actually they're 1 away, since they switched out with a move. Then they threw like 3, so they're 1 away. Throw another one here. I'm going to shield this up. I can quick attack get down now. And that should be a win. Beating the mirror team without even showing my Malamar. GG's. Okay, Malamar lead. This is actually fine. You win this, actually. You win this as Victini. Unless you do what I just did and throw the V-Create instantly. Because then the foul play is actually gonna kill you. But I wasn't expecting them to throw foul play immediately, alright? And I kind of want to switch out of there eventually anyway. I want to bring in my G-Dash here, since it is, well, it's the best counter, but ideally, I want to lure out a potential Gardevoir, which I do bring out. I didn't think I'd reach 2 Body Slams for some reason, so I go for the Mega Horn, but they let it go anyway. Bye-bye, Gardevoir. In comes a Malamar. They really don't have anything for G-Dash. Apparently, this is weird, honestly, because they really should have something for a Fairy. They shoot that up. They underestimate the energy gain. I get to another Body Slam. G-Dash, dude. G-Dash is so freaking good. We farm it down. It's just this, like, absolute MVP. The horse is the absolute MVP. If there's any, if you use any of these 3 Pokemon, use G-Dash, okay? It's so freaking good. Anyway, hope this helped. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video. Good luck with your battle trainers.